I have no friends, but that's okay. I have no friends, and yet people still hate on me. People seem to be jealous and envious of me, even if I don't have any friends. I don't desire to have friends, and I'm okay with that. This video is for women who have no friends and they're okay with that. But this is also for the women who have no friends and also find themselves the target of other people's jealousy and envy. It's very weird to think that some people will be jealous of a loner, of someone who has no friends, and yet they are. When you find yourself being the target of somebody's jealousy and envy, even though you're a woman who stands alone, you're a loner, you enjoy not having a friend or too many friends, you keep your social circle very small, oftentimes that will make you a greater target for jealous, envious people. And there's a reason for that, in my opinion. But number one, the woman who has no friends, what does that say about her? Sometimes as women, there are multiple reasons why women decide not to have friends. And I'm going to get into three of those specific reasons. Number one, rejection. A lot of women over their lifetime have dealt with a lot of rejection, a lot of drama, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain from being in toxic friendships, toxic relationships. And because of that, they've decided to forego friendships of any kind. They're like, you know what? I rock alone. I'm a loner. I'm a lone wolf. I'm introverted. I prefer to be by myself. That way I can spare myself the drama and negativity that comes along with having friends. So when you have women who don't have any friends and they're okay with that, normally, number one, it's because they've dealt with rejection and or a lot of drama and hurt. Let's talk about that rejection piece for a moment, because I know for a lot of women, it might be uncomfortable to think about, but some women are still carrying the trauma of being rejected in their earlier years. Some women were not the popular girl in high school. Some women were not the popular girl in middle school. Some women were not the typical girl's girl or the girl that fits in with everybody. When you're a teenager or a child, that can be very hurtful. It can make you feel like an outcast. It can make you feel like something is wrong with you. Not until you get older and mature as a woman do you realize that being exclusive is actually a wonderful thing. And I'm going to dive deeper into what it means to be exclusive and not all inclusive, and how that benefits you as a lone wolf. Because as you develop and grow as a woman, you will realize there's more benefits to being exclusive than being all inclusive when it comes to your friendship circles, your social interactions, and the things you choose to partake in, be it opportunities or just recreational activities. But I'll get into that later in the video. But number one, women who decide to not have friends, they don't have any friends and they're okay with that, it's number one, they've dealt with a lot of rejection. Many of us as women have experienced, the cruelness that comes along from other girls, other women, in your young adult years, as a late teen, as an early 20s. You've experienced that bullying and that overly aggressive nature of some women that you might have grew up around, or some women that you had to be exposed to in school or in the workplace. And so much of that, as women, if you experience so many toxic interactions, it can completely sour you to the idea of having friends of any kind, with male or female. But typically when women say I have no friends and that's okay, normally they're talking about female friends. They mean they don't have any close women friends. And it's simply because they've dealt with rejection, drama, and a lot of chaos. There's only but so much gossiping and rumor spreading and sabotage that a person can deal with before they decide, my inner peace is worth more than trying to make a friend. And some women have actually gotten to that point. So the number one reason, in my opinion, why some women are okay being the lone wolf And it's okay being a lone wolf if you decide you don't want to have friends, is because they've dealt with rejection, they've dealt with a lot of drama and chaos while trying to make friends and dealing with the issues from the past. Let me go back to that for a moment. Childhood traumas and childhood issues. When women who were once young girls grew up around a lot of overbearing, bully mindset, bully energy women, when you grow up as a woman, that can turn you off to the idea of being around certain types of women. And this is where that exclusivity comes in, opposed to being inclusive. When you're around women who did nothing but made your life miserable but called themselves your friends and family, that can make you feel like being alone is the best option. And you might not feel lonely, but being alone may look like a better option, and having no friends may look like a better option, because you no longer have to deal with somebody's nasty attitude towards you. You no longer have to deal with if somebody's being genuine when they say they like you or they're making a compliment. Do you really have to read into that? Female friendships in general, when you are not, how can I say it, equally yoked in your friendships, you will always find yourself in some kind of battle between trying to see if somebody really likes you or if they're always trying to be smart. And women, as you mature and get older, if you don't have any friends, the desire to make friends goes away. So number one, when a woman deals with a lot of rejection, drama, and chaos, that makes her okay with not having friends. Number one. Number two reason why some women choose to be lone wolves and they're okay with not having friends, I have no friends and I'm okay, is because they prioritize their personal growth over social validation. See, women, and this is where the attracting, the jealousy and envy comes in, because so many women, and there's nothing wrong with women who prefer a big group of women to be around them, a big sister circle, a big, social circle. But the women who are considered lone wolves, the women who are considered loners or just like to be by themselves, they have no friends and they love it that way, they normally prioritize their personal development over social validation. And when you operate that way, when you prioritize your personal development over social validation, that will attract jealousy and envy from women who feel like you are stuck up, feel like you are conceited, feel like you are better than them, and feel like you don't need them. Some women, because they feel like they need you to need them, and some women, they're very needy that way, especially when it comes to their friends or people they want to have, underneath of them. They want you to be needy for them. And the introverted woman in general, even if you're not an introvert, the woman who does not need friends, she's chosen to not have friends or not have that many friends, she will often be the object, the target of other women's jealousy and envy, because they don't understand how you can walk into a room confidently by yourself and not need a whole entourage to feel secure. A lot of women today, because of their insecurity, not just because that's how they move, but because of their insecurities, they have to have a whole entourage of people, of women around them to hype them up and prop them up to make them feel good about themselves. But the lone wolf, the woman who has decided that she doesn't need a lot of friends, nor does she desire a lot of friends, I have no friends and I'm okay with that, she can walk into a room by herself, command attention without having an entourage around her, and still feel secure, still feel confident, and still feel comfortable. That is a gift. Not all women have the ability to walk into a room and feel confident by themselves. And when you are a lone wolf, when you are a woman who does not have a lot of friends, nor do you desire to have a lot of friends, you don't need a lot of people propping you up for you to feel comfortable and confident, you will be the target of insecure, jealous women. They're going to look at you like, how dare you not need other people around you for you to feel good? How dare you not need us to compliment you or to sit at the table with you in order for you to feel good and enjoy your meal. Women who have the lone wolf mentality may be introverted or extroverted and just doesn't need a lot of friends or social validation. The reason why they're targets for jealous, envious women, it's because women who are more exclusive and not all inclusive, they create the tables that other women want to sit at. They don't beg to sit at other women's tables. They don't beg to be in places and spaces where they feel that the vibe is off and that their energy is not welcome. But women who need a lot of social validation, they will try to get in where they fit in, even if they're surrounded by women who don't really like them or barely like them, just tolerating them. But women who are lone wolves, women who have decided that I don't have any friends and I'm okay with that, we do not beg for the attention of other people. We do not beg to sit in circles around people who will just tolerate us. That's not what we do. And women who are insecure and run with the pack all the time and have jealousy and envy in general, they can sense that from you. Some people wonder, I mind my business. I don't bother anybody. I'm quiet. I stay to myself. Why are they always hating on me? Why are they always trying to start problems with me? Why are they always saying something smart? Why are they always talking behind my back? Why are they always trying to get, in my space? It seems like they're bothering me. It's because they're jealous of the fact that you can walk alone and still feel confident while they need 10 or 15 minions to prop them up. That's the issue. A woman who walks by herself willingly, not because she feels lonely, but because she can do it on her own, respectfully, not in a strong, independent kind of way, but in a feminine, resilient, confident, self-worth, self-love kind of way. Oh, no doubt, you will be a target for jealous, envious women. It just comes with the territory. So the number 2 thing, which is the number 1, actually, reason why lone wolves, women who have no friends, find themselves the target of insecure women, jealousy and envy, it's because you prioritize your personal development over social interaction. You don't need a lot of people to prop you up. And not just that, you give more time and attention to your development as a woman than to meaningless, tedious, frivolous things. It's not to say that you're not the kind of woman who doesn't know how to take it easy and just have a good time, just shoot the breeze. You are the kind of woman that likes to do leisure activities and just, goes to the nail salon. That's not really a leisure activity. That's just like maintenance. That's a necessity. But you like to go to the spa. You like to go to the movies and do different things. But one thing you don't like to do, which will also make a woman who's a lone wolf, who's a woman who is okay with not having friends, the target of an envious, jealous person, you don't like to gossip. Women who are not gossips and don't like to gossip about other people will often be hated on by the women who do. They see you as seeing yourself as somehow better than them. And may I make a controversial statement here? You are. It's okay to say you're better than that. You might not be better than them in humanity, but you're better than them in their behavior. A woman who does not waste her time sitting around gossiping about other people, but instead she uses her time in a productive way to focus on the things that's going on in her life and the things that she wants to do, opposed to the things that are happening in other people's lives, that makes you better than them. I said it, and that's what it is. There are certain class levels of women, and women who are classy, women who care about how they present themselves in the world, do not waste their time meaninglessly just talking about other people. And when you are a loner, a lone wolf, a woman who does not need a lot of friends, and that's one of the reasons why, because you don't like the gossip, I find that that's the common thread between a lot of women. If you're not a gossiper, you're not going to fit in. I have experienced that in my own life, that way back when I didn't really fit in too well into different social environments with different women, because I'm not just going to sit back and talk about other people. And this is a major thing. This is a major thing that a lot of women don't talk about, especially black women. Because I think that most people believe that because we're black women and don't let you be young, that you find an interest in just sitting around in a circle and tearing other women apart. And when you're not that archetype, when you're not that kind of woman, they suddenly don't want you around, or they make you feel or make it known that you're not welcome. And no matter how much you try to blend into that messy circle, and this is where the exclusivity part comes in, as women, if you're a lone wolf, if you're a woman who doesn't have any friends or has chosen to not have any friends, don't try to fit into all-inclusive circles when you are exclusive access only. What do I mean by exclusive access only? You as a woman, if you have an exclusive nature, you are atypical. You're not like the average woman, which means when someone comes and speaks with you, they're not going to hear all about your work, your coworker and her personal life. They're not going to hear about Miss So-and-so up the street. They're not going to leave knowing all of the personal details of your family business. They're not going to leave knowing about all the exclusive details of your friend's information that she confided in you. They're going to leave feeling like somebody encouraged them. They're going to leave feeling like, oh, this is somebody I can just chill with. Like, we have a lot in common. We're going to go out. We're going to hang out. We're going to do this. They're going to feel like they want to be around you, not because you give them the tea on everybody else, but because you make them better. A woman who is a lone wolf and doesn't have any friends or doesn't have that many friends, she's often the type of woman that people, acquaintances, want to be around because they know they're not getting any negativity from you. When they get around you, their spirit is not going to feel depleted, but they're going to feel refreshed and renewed. It's because of the kind of woman you are. You are exclusive. And not everybody can take that kind of vibe, that kind of energy, that kind of woman. It takes a certain type of person to be around women who can talk about something other than other people. And when you are that kind of woman, you will be a target for jealous, envious, insecure women, because their way of thinking and their way of speaking is typically very shallow. If it's not about somebody else, it's about pop culture. If it's not about pop culture, it's about how much they hate their life. If it's not about how much they hate their life, it's about anything negative that they can find. And I'm not saying that we all have not spoken in a negative light about our life or about people or have gossiped. I'm not saying that. But there are some women who have made their entire personality trait, their entire personality about getting the tea on other people. And when you're not like that, you're not going to fit in, and you should be okay with that. That's when the I have no friends and it's okay should be okay with you. So the number 2 way, and I know that was a very long-winded answer, but the number 2 way that a woman who has no friends, the reason she has no friends and she's okay with it is because she prioritizes her personal development over social interaction. Now, when it comes to personal development, because this is another exclusive trait of certain types of women who do not need a lot of friends, you get so busy working on your level up, be it your physical, your mental, your financial, your spiritual. You enjoy spending time with God. You enjoy working on your business ventures. You enjoy tapping into your feminine creativity so much so that you don't even realize that you haven't spoken to people in a while. You haven't called somebody in a while. It's because you don't need all of that. And that's a wonderful way to be. To know how to be okay by yourself and then also maintain when other people are around, that is a wonderful gift. But on the flip side of that, that will also make you a target of insecure, jealous women. Let me tell you a story about when I was actually working, and this is not so much a story as is just a few one-off incidents, I'm normally the quiet coworker. So most of the jobs that I've worked in, I'm always quiet. When we have slow days, people say, I'm so bored. I'm so bored. For me, I love slow seasons at work because that gives me the opportunity to tap into my creativity, write down, type out my ideas on different things I want to do. I can work on my businesses. I can work on book ideas. I can work on different things. I tell you this because one day I was doing just that. I was working on my book ideas and writing up some notes and all of that. And I overheard these two little toxic coworkers talking about me, saying, oh, she always so quiet. She act like she can't talk to nobody. She'll talk to the older people, but she don't talk to us. They said that I talk to the older coworkers, but I don't talk to them. Women who are quiet in the workplace in general are typically seen as a threat. But when you are quiet, minding your business, and you do your job, nothing more, nothing less, that will make you a target for jealous, envious, and weirdo energy women in the workplace. When you're not vying for their attention, when you're not trying to be in the inner circle and you just mind your business, because the whole not having friends things, that translates over to the workplace too. Some people actually believe that you should have friends in the workplace, and I believe absolutely not. Yes, you should have a few people that you're cool with, that you can kind of talk to about work-related stuff, that you can just have small talk with here and there. But the whole being close friends with people in the workplace, I do not subscribe to that. And it's for that reason. Some women, because you're not always in their face trying to get their attention. And I don't know, I can't even explain exactly why this is, but a woman being quiet and minding her business in the workplace seems to be the most highest threat to women who are intent on stealing her peaceful, positive energy. If you are a quiet coworker, a quiet woman, a woman who doesn't have that many friends in the workplace or in general, your silence is almost seen as a weapon against people who want to deplete your energy. Don't let them do that to you. Why are women this way? Not all women, but some women, I have no idea. But I know, being the quiet woman, the quiet coworker, a lot of times I will be the woman that they say, her energy is off, she seems standoffish. No. A lot of times when women who don't typically fit into the messy social circles of the average woman, it's because you are an observer. And when you're an observer and you see how people operate and you choose to safeguard yourself from their messy behavior, that will also make you a target of jealous, envious women. And that will also leave you in the category sometimes of women who decide, you know what, I don't want any friends. I'm cool by myself, or with the few friends I have, I'm good with that. That's enough for me. Because of that weird dynamic between women that says, I need you to need me, or I need you to let me bully you, or we can't be friends, some women have chosen to just have no friends and be okay with it. And the number 3 reason why some women decide that they have no friends and they're okay, it's because they are often misunderstood and their introvertedness. Now, I know all women who don't have friends are not introverts, but a lot of times women who are more quiet, they're typically a little bit more introverted or ambiverted, meaning they're normally introverted into themselves until they get around people who make them feel comfortable, and then they come out of their shell. But women who often decide not to have friends, number 3, they do that because they're often misunderstood. Again, it goes back to the quiet coworker. They automatically perceive you as being stuck up, thinking you're better. You know, you could be shy, you could be dealing with social anxiety, but a woman who is jealous and envious and insecure around you and looks at your silence as some kind of weapon, she will perceive you as being somehow stuck up and thinking that you're better than her. I have been in that situation. They had no idea that I just was thinking about different things in my own life. Sometimes I was going through things and I was just keeping to myself because I didn't want to divulge too much information, which is something that wise women do. The introverted woman, and not even just introverted, when you're a wise woman and you know that you might be going through some things, you're not quick to run your mouth because you don't want to give out too much information about yourself. But people who are messy, they're hoping they can get to crack your shell so that way they can get all of the details about your life. And the quiet coworker, the quiet woman, she thinks about the things that she's thinking about and then thinks about the things that she's going to speak about and to whom. And if she decides it won't be you, it's going to be a quiet shift. It's going to be a quiet day. And that will have them drumming up all kinds of scenarios about you. Oh, you're stuck up. Oh, you think you're better. Oh, you don't like me. Meanwhile, you're not thinking about them, but that's the way they are. So women, oftentimes, back to the original point, who decide, you know what, I don't want to deal with a lot of people. I don't want to have a lot of friends. It's because they've been misunderstood. Their shyness has been mistaken for being arrogant. Their introvertedness has been mistaken for being bougie. And they're just over that. They're done explaining themselves. The people who vibe with them will vibe with them, and the people who don't just won't. And women who walk alone are perfectly okay with that. Now, am I encouraging women to not have any friends? Absolutely not. I'm saying that if you don't have any friends and you've chosen that for a season, I know there has to be a valid reason why, and that's okay. Don't feel like you're an outcast. Don't feel like somehow because you don't have friends, people don't like you. Sometimes you are just dealing with things that don't require a lot of outside people at the moment, and that's okay. But I do encourage women to have at least 2 to 3 like-minded women that you can confide in, that you can be encouraged by, and you can encourage them, and women that you just relate to. As women, I think it would be a lot easier for women to become friends and maintain friendships if they put aside the jealousy, envy, and overall bully mentality. But for many women, that's impossible because they can only be friends with other women if they can also shade them once in a while, bully them once in a while, belittle and make them feel less than. And the woman who's a lone wolf, because she recognizes that, sometimes she chooses to just rock alone, and that's okay. All right? This video was about the reasons why loners, women, choose to have no friends, and why women with no friends are often envied and people are jealous of those kind of women. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.